If I'm not wrong, there are about 10 million black people. How many?
10 million black people in France. There's 10 million people in France.
In France. So already, if we can, which I know, like Beaver River, not only black people saw it. Let's just say black people alone in France.
1% of
It's just 1% of all the black people in France. They will see, and that's a market.
I think in addition to that, the fact that you're talking about the market and the business, of course, it's not the responsibility of the filmmaker at this point. He's gone through the stress of making the film. It's not left for the distributors now take it up and push it as far. Just like we said in the case of dubbing, that no, the film is not yours anymore, and then the distributor can now think of where I need to dub this film to make it out. So the same thing goes in the area of business. If you think that Nollywood doesn't have a market, probably in France, why would they want to start something like Nollywood TV and go as far as, okay, we want to dub it and we want to take it out? So as a businessman, you look out and say, okay, oh, there's the potential in these things, people are there, they want to see it, then you push it, and at that point it makes international market. So you don't have to go out, okay, do they want to see it, and now come and place it to them. No, as a businessman, you do your research and think, oh yeah, this is a potential thing, and of course Viva River has proved it right. So that's what I think.
No, there's a market, and I think the next thing is just to identify how does co-production work? You know, because I mean, for me that is my interest, because I'm working on a new film which I think will be the biggest film. You know, and really, in the last 1 year, you know, I've been, even before I shot Phone Swap, I've said to myself, look, I don't want to do this alone, you know, because I want to go out more. I want to reach out to bigger markets. And the reason why Beaver River was successful was simply because they had Belgium or Germany, and you know, people from different regions and different territories. You know, I mean, there was a lot of interest from the pre-production stage. All right, so the film was it was well packaged, and they put all the energy, and it was pushed out. All right. After I saw, of course, I was prone to all the money that my brother made, because I'm always getting, okay, BBC paid, Channel 4 paid 100 million, this one paid, and I'm like, okay, this is because the film was positioned. Majority of the African films that screen or get official selection in Cannes are simply because there's some sort of co-production deal. All right.
No, it's just because they are good.
No. Because no, you're totally wrong. I totally disagree with you. I mean, it simply means the co-production.
And the product, when you're talking about co-production, is always and mainly with France.
Yes.
Yeah, because US are not making any co-production.
Yes.
Only nations that are making any co-production, Indians.
Right.
So it's mainly co-production with France. But
so France,
it's really cool because it's 12 o'clock now, and the last topic is co-production, so we can just keep going.
You know, so I mean, how does it work? Like, okay, I have a script. The script is ready. In fact, I'm going to shoot by the end of July, because by God's grace, I have some funds already. The budget is $2 million. All right,
which is an average budget for a local film.
No, this is the highest anybody.
What about the half a yellow sun?
No, half of the yellow sun is not in Nigeria. Have you guys heard about half of the yellow sun? There's a film titled Half of the Yellow Sun. Okay, it's something very new. It's a co-production between UK, Nigeria, US.
This is the first one, right?
Everything.
It's the first co-production, right?
Well, of recent.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not a co-production, really. It's not co-production in the sense of co-production.
right? It's a British film that they brought to Nigeria to get some money to shoot.
But they got a lot of money from Nigeria. I mean, they got majority of the funds from Nigeria. Yes.
Is there treaty?
Yes, there's
Treaty between England.
Yes.
It wasn't based on that.
It wasn't based on that.
It wasn't based on the treaty.
It was a loose arrangement.
Anyway, let me just.
No, before you finish, because you said your budget is 2 million.
Yes.
He asked you if it's average. Can you give him the average of Nollywood or the budget of Nollywood?
No, it's
Before we proceed, so that
let me tell you, you see, sometimes we need to define what is Nollywood, because if Kule's film budget is $2 million, it is not Nollywood.
Someone said that the budget of Nollywood movie should be a particular figure range, right? What do you see as Nollywood? Products from Nigeria, right? So, but if you begin to pigeonhole yourself and say, for Nollywood, it has to be a budget of less than $500,000 or less than $100 million, yes, $500,000 or $100,000, then we're not talking the same thing. If Kule is doing a $2 million movie, and I decided to do a $2 million movie, right? And I decided to do a $10 million movie, still based on Nigeria. It is still not
Nigerian stories by Nigerian actors.
You see, we should move away from that stereotype that begins to see Nollywood as what we used to do in the early 2000s or late 90s. You know, there's a movement, there's a transition.
And to be concrete, don't go with me. What was your budget?
Yeah, my budget was about $500,000.
Okay.
And that is huge in Nigeria.
And they shot on film.
And I shot on 35.
And
So
you recoup only on the national market?
But this?
You recoup the money?
No, I've not recouped all the money because I've not made all the platforms yet. It's still doing just the cinema run. Okay. It's in the UK presently. But in terms of recouping my money, I've recouped over 70% of it. The point is this, right? Your budget is to be determined by you, by what you want to shoot. Yeah, it's not what defines the kind of movie or the concept of Nollywood. No, right? It's the work itself that determines Nollywood. It's not the budget, because what we had in the past, right, were films where yes, we know we could do it with this kind of budget. Like I told someone yesterday, those films that were done in the past with maybe $40,000. Then if you still give those people $10 million, they will still give you those same films. Exactly the film the way they were. But now there's improvement in knowledge, there's awareness, there's need to up the ante. And that's what we're experiencing now. Wow. So whether Kule is shooting $2 million, TK is shooting $10 million, and I'm shooting $500,000. It's still Nollywood.
Don't say that because
no, I'm just saying.
No, I'm offended.
It's choice. It's choice. No. Seriously.
Let's hear
No, because there are things it cannot go beyond with whatever. Maybe if he wants to shoot with, let's say, $500,000. There are things he cannot do with $500,000.
Well,
so
bring it first. No, this discussion is very interesting because it's a matter of perception, and there's individualism in making your choices. Of course. Right now, the way I feel from my heart is that if somehow I find $1 million, I probably will do 4 movies. Because I just have a stack of things I would like done. And sometimes it doesn't translate that 10 million or higher budget can make a good film.
Oh, sure.
So I'm just driven by a certain different set of inspiration that probably is tied to my environment and my perception of life around me. And it just doesn't lend itself to the extravagance of what I consider $10 million. I'll make 100 movies on that.
Well, this film is set against the backdrop of Nigerian independence in 1960. Nigeria in 1960.
This is commercial.
And this is why the budget is that high, because ordinarily I would have loved to also do very micro budget, just like TK. But we have to recreate a whole lot of things. The film will be shot in Nigeria entirely. We're looking to get, because we have this role for British actors, they play colonial masters, the way they, anyway, we need like 3 British actors, and I'm trying to get maybe one known face for marketing reason, all right, to play one of the colonial guys, and every other actors, are Nigerians. But I think it's a film that I'm not pitching. I'm just pitching. But I think with co-production, with and when I say co-production, really, I just need people who can push the film. I just need people who can, create market for the film in different territories. I'm not. It is really not. If you want to put money on the table and the film is pre-sold, you can already buy rights. Okay, I want UK, I want Germany, this territory or this platform. All that can be, but I can assure you that next year, Nollywood, this festival, that film is going to be here. And if by now you don't lock into it,
there's a question here. Do you apply with, for example, ACP? Is a lot of money.
Yeah, well, you see, the ACP is there's a fund.
A lot of money.
The point is, there's a lot of money there. You see,
co-production, that's why.
Yes, in Nigeria, I'm sure you heard of the funds announced by our government and all that. They're also part of the ADB initiative. It's not
African Caribbean.
It's a European, African Caribbean. It's from Europe and there's a huge money.
Yeah, but it takes that in the point as a filmmaker. No, as a filmmaker. Yes, as a filmmaker, our style has always been. You want to do a film, you have your idea, and you just want to do it now.
Hit the ground running.
All right?
Does that happen in production? For example, you say, no, you go for production. I'm shooting in July.
No. Wait, which is why the francophone will always wait 5 years to make one film. This is why they wait 10 years to make one film.
I said that's why something we need to wait.
Exactly.
Find
there's somebody who can
produce. We don't even have to wait 2 years.
A producer came from Poland. He's ready to go, but you have another one. If they don't want to invest in this
let me give an example.
We just need to clear that.
He wants me to do co-production with him and all that. And I said, co-production from Poland. Poland. Yes, Poland. No, seriously.
We have no money.
No money. It's not even the issue of the money now. And we got discussing, and I was interested, and I said, blah, blah, blah. And I said, when are we looking forward to shooting, to get him to go? He said, well, I'm looking at about towards the end of 2014 to 2015. 2015. You want to tie me down. Maybe by that time you are coming. Maybe. I would have moved on to other things. Maybe I won't be making films anymore. That is the Nigerian style.
So another to the story, just last one. I got a proposal from a company called Sans Frontier. I'm sure some of you will know. Or Sans Frontier. And they wrote to me and said, look, we're interested in co-producing or producing, any of your future, projects. And I was working on a different script, then I'm talking 2 years ago. And I met with the director, the owner of the company in Cannes.
I remember.
Yeah, you remember. We met, and there's another friend of mine who also consults for me unofficially, who is an American.
Sorry, you said this partner was from where? This partner, which country?
Sans Frontier, France.
No, Film Sans Frontier, forget about it.
Oh, really? Anyways, the guy proposed, which is good. At least somebody is looking, is interested in what we do. And we met, and he said, okay, and I pitched the story to them. They liked it, and we said, okay, let's do the full script, which I did. and I sent to them, and you know, they were excited, and they sent me a funny agreement, and you know, I sent it to my consultant, and he read it and said, "Kunle, you're just gonna kill yourself." And the guy, my friend, made a note, my consultant, which I forwarded to the owner of the company. And he said, look, okay. Galishka, yeah. And he said, well, if...
Everybody knows him here.
Okay, well... and he said, okay, well, if Bob cannot talk to me directly, and then, you know, we're not interested. And I said, you know...
So you are really at the first.
Take a walk.
You have to know all these guys.
No, it is important, which is why...
There is a blacklist.
Well...
So now, because they've been to India, they've been to China, they started to work with Indonesia, and now they're in Nigeria, some of them.
Yeah, well, that is why it is important. See, nobody will come out and say I'm a devil. I mean, you're talking to us, I don't know you, I'll have to search you. If I'm going to work with you, I'll have to ask questions, which is the best way to do business.
I'll answer you for free. You don't need any consultant.
You know, but it is just I just think it is important, you know, there's a huge market. I mean, we're not just blowing our trumpet. It is everywhere. You can read about it and you can see it. And I just think this should kickstart a new beginning. You know, in co-production kind of relationship.
And on this co-production, I need to stress a point. You know, I remember in the early 2000s, and the embassy in Nigeria came to us in Nollywood about this co-production thing and all that. And they gave us some ideas and all that. And the point is this. With these co-productions, they come with a particular baggage, right? And we're going to give you so and so fund, blah, 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 blah. And in return, these are the conditions. You know such conditions from France? You have to take majority of the people working with you from France. Your script has to be approved from France. You know what we said? We said, show it. If you want to do co-production with us, in terms of bringing in resource, and we also bring in a resource, you can dictate to us. We need to agree, right? We know that some of the works that you've, that are in France now, or Fond du Sud, or whatever fund you have, right, have supported with African filmmakers. They end up maybe 2 million euros, 3 million euros, but every money is spent here. So it's like giving me resource with one hand and taking it back with the other hand. I must be able to have a say.
Freedom. No, it's a bit more complicated than this.
I know, but
because, you know, French, it's not. It's not. They have changed the name. It's Cinema du Monde now.
Do you know what the monde? Yes.
Can we not get about before you continue?
He used to be the coordinator.
No, I'm a producer now. Producer, French producer, yeah.
Producer.
Here. Film, feature films.
Freelance.
He's a producer.
No, I have a company.
No, I mean you work for yourself.
Independent. Yeah.
Independent producer. Okay. That's why he's here. And I want to work with him. I mean, he said he was tired.
No, Director's Fortnight.
Director's Fortnight, which is also, I mean, more. Right? So the point is, you see, the baggage I'm talking about is that in Nollywood, I'll give you exactly, right? We want to have control over our works. That's why they are Nollywood. But by the time you want to infuse your French ideas in terms of I'm coming. In terms of the content, in terms of who is going to work with me, we'll have a challenge. That is why in Nigeria,
it's your film.
It's not not true. All good co-production, respects filmmakers.
Yeah.
Then if a co-production change, it's not good. But normally, if we work with, good producers, for example, Cinema du Monde, they don't expect to spend money in France. It's,
the interaction is not.
I don't want to. Then, I mean, it's not. Sometimes it can happen, but it's not the reality of it.
Serge, there's a question here.
Okay.
She's been waiting.
I'm just going to say something to clarify, because what Mahmoud is talking about here is a government level, like we are talking about co-production that are sponsored by the French government, but you can also have direct co-production with French co-production companies, and you don't go with the Foreign Affairs Department. You know, you can talk to them directly, and this is also one of the reasons for this encounter. So you can talk with police, and you guys, if you guys agree. But sorry, I will make one last point, which is time, because you said, you know, the other productions take much more time to develop a script, to develop a movie, and Nollywood is quick. It's like that. So is it still possible?
No, that's not the impression. No, that's not the impression.
The question is it possible in that case that you can still work with producers from France or Germany or anywhere, even though they have this time thing that is much more...
No, the time thing is not what we're making here. We also spend time to make our script and all that. Time with me took me almost 7 years to put together. Are you know what I'm saying? What we're saying is this, that look,
you're into 4 years.
You see, what we're saying is this, that most times when we go say we need money, we want to do this, we are almost set to roll.
But I'm sorry.
But you involve them.
You're supposed to involve them before.
Where are they?
But this is not, otherwise it's not a co-production.
What it is before you even have a project.
Obi has done 3 films in 1 year. And they are big films.
Yes. No, but for a real co-production, it starts from the beginning.
Before you involve them, you have to have something.
Yes, of course.
Let's say Kule has a script now. He has a script, he has a project man, and he's going to them. They will now tell him 6 years from now, which doesn't work. Which is why I said, okay, if they're not thing in October 1st, which is Kunle's next film, Kule has another project. Every producer has, every filmmaker has a few projects. So let them get involved in the next one. That will take 6 years to come to fruition. But this particular one is ready to go.
I understand. A question from Lisa.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to move the conversation away. I think it's important, and maybe you guys are going to talk about this tomorrow, but to talk about how the internet is changing Nollywood or how it's going to change Nollywood. You have... I mean, you're talking about co-production and maybe distribution, but you have Iroko TV, for example, and other internet channels where, honestly, the young generation, my age, they want to watch it in their pajamas, put on their laptop, and just have direct access to the film. And you can see that with African or Nigerian music industry, Nigerian hip-hop, they kind of moved past the traditional distribution market, and just they're reaching their audience through Twitter, through Facebook, through YouTube directly. So I'm just curious if you all are thinking about that.
And to give you a example, the TV is now going to get into DVD distribution. Because he sees the internet as a niche. Very, very small niche. And he still knows that the core of the business is in people having the content. You know. So they're going to go.
I'm going to be speaking about that tomorrow.
Okay, great.
But about Iroko TV, do you guys sell your content on Iroko TV? And if not, why?
That's a big question.
Well, Iroko for me, I think is a good platform, and a good platform in the sense that they get the films out there. You know, people watch the film, but they care less what comes to the producer. All right. They have a lot of films because some of those, and I'm sure majority of those films they have are the same films Nollywood TV has. I'm sure majority of the films you have are the same films on Iroko TV. All right, you know, because look, it's just like Mnet. It took me 3 years to sell my figuring to Mnet, and we're always going back and forth. And I said, look, if you're not paying this, I'm not selling. And they said, oh, Mr. Palayo, you know, I mean, we like you. And I said, look, no, you can't. The budget of an average, some of those films, I'm not sure the films you have, but the budget of an average Nollywood film is past films. Well, they are still making some of those films now. Because there's a market for them, and they will continue to. The budget is between $10,000 and say $30,000, $20,000, $25,000. That is the budget.
So they will sell it
for $1,000 TV rights.
Because you have the good, the bad, the ugly.
You know, but if I'm making a film of $300,000, $500,000, I don't have theatrical main distribution platform. I don't have world DVD sales. I don't have world television right, and I have to find a way to make sure I monetize the film. And Nigerians are beginning to get tired of those films. In fact, those films are not selling in Nigeria anymore. Yeah. They only cut across the Africans in diaspora because they are bored, because they want things that will remind them of home. So they are stuck on those films. But the Nigerians at home are not watching those films anymore. They only watch them on television, on Mnet. And because it's free, more like it. But in cinemas, Obi's films will go to cinema, release in 8 screens, and gross and gross almost $200,000 in 4 weeks of release, just in Nigeria. Does that not make sense? To me, it makes a lot of sense. So you can always keep such content, because people will go to Mnet and say, look, we want this good film from Obi. We want this good film from Mahmoud. And if we don't have it, we won't pay premium. We don't have to subscribe to your channel. So they will start advertising, and they will be talking to good producers of good films in different tone. All right? The negotiation is so different. What they discuss with me will be totally different from what they discuss with someone who's got a movie that cannot cut across. So, and I think that is the way. So if you guys can, establish relationship with the filmmakers, and negotiate with them, one-on-one, and I think it works better.
Yeah, I think so.
You get a better deal, you get a better relationship, advice, they can advise you on, expanding your distribution scope.
Definitely.
And you can also...
To launch the channel, we needed volumes.